And it's always nice to see you up here in the Mask Fan Attic. Mask Fanatics. You know, just then before the camera came on, I had been up here up and down a couple of times looking for a couple of things, and I just noticed a spider web in my hair, and I was just pulling the spider web out of my, and yeah, just like it would happen in a cartoon, there's a live spider dangling in it, just like it would happen in a cartoon. It's probably a shame the camera wasn't rolling, because you would have found it amusing, but it's a good thing I'm not naturally arachnophobic like a lot of human beings are, because I would have a serious problem up here in the attic. I couldn't even do these videos every week. I would have to do like the Mask Fan living room or something, which doesn't have the same nice ring to it. But it's not too bad. There are a lot of spiders in the attic, but spiders don't really bother me that much. It's better than the basement, in which I wish we only had spiders, because in the basement, zombies. Much more dangerous. But anyway, you know, in addition to my love of classic monsters like Frankenstein and Dracula, and my love of zombies and slashers and ghouls and ghosts and aliens and all the other unusual forms of cinematic entertainment, I'm also a big fat Star Wars nerd. And I should probably, you know, show Star Wars a little more love now and then in the world of masks. So with that in mind, I present this week's find here in the Mask Fanatic. It's none other than Boss Nass. That's two words, boss because he's the boss, like Bruce Springsteen, and Nass, N-A-S-S, like Crosby, Stills, Nass and Young. Is that right? No, he says that's not right. Well, anyway, it's something like that. Anyway, Boss Nass was the leader of the Gungans on planet Naboo, and yes, I actually remember all this stuff. I didn't even have to look that up. He's the leader of the Gungans in the Gungan city of Oto Gunga, I think it was called, on the planet Naboo in the 1999 hit Star Wars Episode 1, The Greatest Disappointment in Cinema History. Phantom Menace, that was the name of it, yeah. Now, again, Jar Jar Binks, you may remember him. He was a Gungan. He came from this city. This guy here was the leader of that city. And, you know, you might be thinking he's kind of a strange-looking guy, but as I recall, in the film, this character, Boss Nass, did not really like Jar Jar very much. So when it comes right down to it, he's not all that different from the typical Earth person underneath it all, is he? Now, this particular version of Boss Nass is a fairly rare one from Don Post Studios that came out in '99 to coincide with the release of the film, and I believe was only in production that 1 year, and there don't seem to have been that many of them produced. It's a super cool mask. I don't know if you can see how very nicely sculpted and painted it is. It's got this little jingle bell on the tip of his hat. That's a rubber also glued on. And then he has his ears tied back in a ponytail. And this great effect here of this ornamental leatherette ring or whatever it is, which is also actually latex, holding his ears together so that he has the Gungan ear ponytail. And sometimes I touch up the masks I show you. I have not touched this one up at all. This actually came from Don Post Studios in 1999, looking this great. It's very detailed. He's even got little bloodshot lines in the eyes. I didn't even put that there. It came that nice. And at the time there were, you know, a lot of quality control problems with some Don Post products. But I think with this one and some of the other Episode 1 Star Wars masks that they did, they really proved that they could still do it, and they could still make nice masks. This is a great thickness, very nice quality, and I don't know if you can see his teeth. He's got a little gloss on the teeth going on there, what little bit of them shows. Now, like I said, there aren't too many of this particular Boss Nass mask around. Boss Nass mask, try saying that 5 times fast. Because not too long after this, Don Post lost the rights to the Star Wars mask production. Not mass production, to Ruby's costumes. So if you see Boss Nass masks and they don't look that great, they may be the Ruby's versions. Ruby's did 2 of them. One is a very cheap, very simplified, almost more of a 3/4 mask made of vinyl. And then they did one that's rather nicer, that's not too bad, that's similar to this, but he has this big silly smile on his face, has with the big teeth all across there. And I like this expression better. It's less silly, and it just looks more like he's alive and he's thinking about something. This one has a little more personality. So the Rubies one, you know, if you love this character, it's okay. But this one, much nicer, I think, the Dawn Post. And well, I suppose these still turn up periodically on eBay and so forth. I haven't searched, but if you like Star Wars masks, I recommend the very cool 1999 Dawn Post edition of Boss Nass from Naboo. And now I'm gonna go look for spiders, and I'll see you at the next Mask Fest. Come and say hello, will you? Come and say hello at Mask Fest if you see me there, because I'll probably be there. Although you should probably just say hello and not actually shake hands with me, because if you shake my hand, I could have spiders in my clothing that will crawl off of me and onto you, and later in your room you'll be thinking, oh, I wish I hadn't shaken the hand of that mask guy, because now there are spiders all over me. See, so tell you what, if it makes you feel any better, I'll take a shower sometime the month before Mask Fest to try to wash the worst of the spiders off, okay? Good night.